welcome to another amazing episode of Spoilers for Days, a show where the girls, the gays, and the theys come together and spoil your favorite shows from our perspective. In collaboration with LiveXLive, shout outs to LiveXLive in the chat. Thanks for holding it down and powering the stream. I'm so hyped to be here today. Let's go! We are going to be covering Marvel's What If Episode 6 and a very special interview with the animator, Tegan Laing. Oh my
Yay!
gosh.
I'm so excited.
Welcome, Tegan.
Woo! We have to introduce our special guest, Tegan Laing, an animator and an avid gamer. Shout outs to that, who is currently residing in Australia. So thank you for giving us the time. I don't even
What
know
time is it there? Yeah.
right
It
now.
is 9:30 in the morning in the future on Friday.
Oh my
Wow.
We're in the future.
Thank you. Well, Tegan has worked in animation for over 6 years, so she is a seasoned vet. Currently, she works for ILM, the Disney-owned studio, working on most of the Marvel and Star Wars TV shows being produced. She serves as a senior animator on the What If show for Marvel and at another studio in Sydney, notably animating specifically the Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands, as well as the Killmonger Rescued Tony episode.
We love it.
We
love it. We love it.
Yes, ever. I'm
Yes.
geeking out. Oh my friggin' gosh. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, Tegan. Well, let's get into it. Let's actually get into talking about Marvel's What If anthology series. I'm actually so excited about this. We had the next episode. I don't know what numbers we are. I'm so confused. It's
6.
just every
This is 6, right?
6, 5. Okay, thank you. 6.
Yeah.
Which is Killmonger rescued Tony? Question mark. I want to know.
Yeah.
Right. Faces, impressions. How are we feeling? All right, a whole new version of Tony. Yes, yay or nay? Did this episode hit or miss? I need to know. I'm gonna go around the room. Jackie, you first.
Dang it! I was hoping you
No.
wouldn't pick me first because I was like,
When
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure.
When
I
you
know.
look away.
Which literally, I was like looking at my notes. I was like, okay, so what were your Okay. So, I'll be honest. I think that this was one of. I don't think it beat out Doctor Strange for sure. It definitely didn't beat out Star-Lord for me. But I actually found it really entertaining. I love Killmonger. And just seeing him on screen, I just got really excited. And he was just doing his manipulative, super cunning, intellectual, but just gut-wrenching stuff. Like it was fun. It was super fun to watch. I don't think it's definitely not my favorite, but I would say it's probably third for me now. It's probably third for me. So
That's high ranking.
I thought it was fun. You know what was interesting about so Doctor Strange, that one, it just had a huge impact on me. You know what I mean? Like, and I love when I watch something and it's like I'm sitting and thinking about it later, and it's like you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, man, I'm really like marinating in this right now, right? And then the Star-Lord one, we were in the Queen's GG Discord chat, and like we were all just laughing and having a good time, and so it was like a very like water cooler episode. For this one, it was very entertaining to watch, but it was just kind of like I didn't marinate on it later. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I hit up people and were like, yo, and it wasn't like to have the conversations that I did with the Star-Lord one. And it wasn't like it had an emotional gut punch to me where I was like, dude, like that struck me. You know what I mean? So I was like, that was fun, but then it was like it was over. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like my thoughts on it. So I would put it third right now for me.
Okay, that's still fairly positive.
Number 3. Yeah.
Number 3. All right. What about you, Tegan? How did you feel about this episode in particular?
Liked it. It's also not. I liked the Doctor Strange one better, and I also liked the Star-Lord one better. I think I may have liked the zombies one better as well, but I'm kind of on the fence.
We're so divided about the zombies one.
Yeah,
so.
was a hard discussion to have.
We had people who hated it, and then we had a guest who like really liked it, and we were like, so anyway, yeah, the zombies one was definitely controversial.
I think the reason I like the zombie one was just because of what they did with Scarlet Witch and made her like a horror aspect instead of like it was cool. Like it was
I wish
terrifying.
it went further with it. I wish she was the one that just killed them all.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was where we were divided. There was a lot of division in that
Yeah.
discussion.
Fair enough. I would probably have been in all that division as well.
You would have been on my side, probably. I like the dark shit. Like, I'm here for the dark
Yeah, I really like
shit.
the dark shit.
This episode was heavy and was intense. You know what I mean? Maybe this was just me. I felt like it was a lot though. Like I was having trouble like connecting the dots and keeping up.
It.
Maybe it's just me then.
I feel like I liked this episode because it was a complete story. It was a complete like one thing, and that's what I wanted this whole time, was one thing switched. One thing was the little Nexus event, and then you get a completely different outcome. And I think they followed through all the way. And they gave us an ending too that was very much so like a cliffhanger, but you could see where it's gonna go, rather than like the zombie one being like, here's Thanos, and
it was a cliffhanger with no actual payoff, right?
Exactly.
Like,
and this cliffhanger gets you hyped, like, oh, like Shuri and Pepper are gonna wreck them. You know, so I really liked, and I loved seeing.
By the way, I would.
Oh yeah, right. I wanted episode 2.
Yeah,
but like Killmonger, I feel like I got such a better like appreciation for Killmonger. You know, he in Black Panther the movie, obviously he's very smart and very skilled, but you really don't understand how smart and how cunning until this episode. I feel this episode really took Killmonger to the next level for me, which was, you know, hard to do because I already thought he was a badass.
Like, I quite like that they just keep killing Tony Stark in every episode.
I know. Well, they can't.
I didn't know they were gonna do that.
Just like, okay, let's just keep this short.
Like he doesn't survive a single what if episode.
Yeah. Because what were you thinking though? What did you think about the episodes?
I loved the episode. I think the episode was awesome. It's definitely in my top 3 for sure. I think we're all kind of similar with the ones we love, right? Star-Lord episode, Doctor Strange, I'm with you on that one. But this episode, I have to agree with Jessica. The insular moment, like we've mentioned, how we really enjoy being able to trace back where the divergency happens. We kind of didn't get that in the previous episode, which is why I think this episode hit so hard. Was really, we were like, okay, cool. Tony's probably not going to be Iron Man. What in God's name is going to go down? And giving the audience a chance to theorize, I think, is what this episode does so well, because it's not such an obvious thing. Like, you know, like in the previous episode, it'd be like, okay, cool, Peggy's going to be Cap. Here's some things we might be able to get. It's pretty obvious. And sure enough, our biggest complaint was it was much like the movie. And this one, I was like, this was no movie I've ever seen. Okay. Killmonger was in his own movie of his own. And being able to kind of accomplish in a goal that, you know, the character set out to do for so long, I thought it was just really fascinating to get to see that chance, that opportunity, and to see how far Killmonger would go. So this episode was definitely in the top for me. I think it had that beginning, the middle, the end. My only complaint is the end. I feel like it does kind of just stop.
I felt the same way. Suggested she liked it.
I was like, but here's the thing though that I liked about this episode is that yes, like it could have pushed things differently and farther, but it was very realistic. This was a very realistic like change, you know, because I was kind of in the beginning of the movie show, whatever, was like, is Tony Stark gonna be a villain now? Is Tony Stark gonna be a villain? But that would be a bit unrealistic because even though he didn't have that, like, I'm gonna be a hero now switch, like, he still had it in him and still wasn't going to be, like, the big bad. So I liked that they kept it grounded and realistic. And that's why I kind of felt like the cliffhanger wasn't like a dead stop like the Thanos zombie one. It was more of a like, hey, we're smart. We can handle this. And I thought that was a much more hopeful and like realistic ending than just like nothing.
I see that.
You know
totally.
what I mean?
I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And like,
I think,
how else would they have ended it? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good wrap up. I think it was just like, and I think I feel this way about a lot of the episodes. It's like, you just want to see it. You know what I mean? So then you're like,
you want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Punch. Like, you're just like, oh, cool. Dead. And then it just like goes to the like end credits. You're like, dang it.
You know, it wasn't even like they seeded it. You know, it wasn't like it was an Easter egg and you had to put 2 and 2 to figure that Shuri and Piper were gonna meet up. Like, no, they showed it to you and they were like, yeah, we finna pull up. And I'm like, all right, next episode. There's no next episode. Like, I felt
love
very shorted.
that line that Shuri said where she's like, yeah, Tony Stark is a genius, but he's not the only one. Like, I love that. I was
that
like,
just gave me
so
chills.
good.
stick it to him, Shuri.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice that they're kind of showing that they're on the same level, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
intellectually.
loved it.
So it's like now you kind of get this. Could she become, like, take over for that and become the
Oh
Tony
my
Stark?
gosh, or become the Black Panther, or maybe a hybrid.
I know for sure an Ironheart
I don't know, my
was
brain's
already
going off.
confirmed. There was an
Yes.
Ironheart confirmed for the MCU.
So we are gonna get a Riri Williams.
We don't have anything confirmed yet for Black Panther. Like for Black Panther 2, we have no clue yet. And I'm in the Shuri camp. I know
That'd be
it's a
so dope.
controversial opinion. A lot of
dope.
people are like, no. But I'm in the Shuri taking up the
Oh
mantle
my
camp.
God, let's do it.
I think
start
it's
the
a little
campaign.
too soon for it. I think it's a little too soon. I would hate for all of our lovely young Black boys to lose such an icon as like the Black Panther so early. I think we need Black Panther a little longer before Shuri though. But
Who would you want
that.
to be? Who would you?
I couldn't. You couldn't
even
pay
start.
me to
Yeah.
cast. You couldn't pay because
I know.
Decision. I'm at
I
the
know.
point. No name it. I'm at the point where I'm like, just no name it.
Oh
Somebody
yeah, totally.
outside, nobody we want to fan cast, just somebody who is really picked for the role. And I think we will accept it. I think we will, because I can't stand to see the mantle just get tossed off so soon when we just got Black Panther. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. But I understand it. If they do make that jump, if it was too hard to put in the story, it is just a natural changing point, I guess.
What if it's
But
a team though?
Yeah.
What if it's like Shuri and a male Black Panther? What if it's a duo?
Ooh.
That'd be really
like,
cool.
that'd be
I'd be
sick.
so down for that too. It's just, Chadwick Boseman's voice just being in this too. It's just
Yeah.
like, man,
I know.
he just was Black Panther. Like I don't know how else to say it. Like it's just, yeah, it's always tough.
I'm
to
not
hear
gonna think
his
about it.
voice.
I'm not putting that on my
I'm
brain.
sorry,
Let
I
them
shouldn't
do it.
even
They
said
get to
that.
do it.
Yeah,
They can do it.
You have to deal
We
with
actually-
that for sure.
When he actually passed, we were in the middle of animating him.
No.
No.
So we had
Oh,
like
I
we
just got
basically woke up one morning and we're like this now takes on a whole new meaning, like all of what we're
Yeah.
doing. Because like
Wow.
nobody knew that he was even really sick. He didn't tell
Yeah.
anyone. He was just like what a fucking incredible human being.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so we as soon as that happened, we were all just sitting there being like, okay, well, like this is now his last performance.
Yes.
So it was
Wow.
Responsibility. Ugh.
That's heavy, man. That's heavy. Tegan,
Oh.
thank you for sharing that with us. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
like,
jeez.
I can't even imagine.
So to bring that that
No.
No, it's important.
Like, that honestly, if looking back on this episode, there were like so many good moments though. Like I definitely like hearing Chadwick Boseman's voice was amazing. But I thought, and not to like switch gears here, but like seeing Queen Ramonda in action, like did that like
As a general.
yeah,
Oh.
and then her husband was like looked at her and was like commander or something like that, and I was
General,
like
yeah, call her
general,
general.
thank you, yeah, and I was just like, I don't know, like this episode did have a lot, even comparing it to the other two episodes I love, Star-Lord and Evil Doctor Strange, like this one did have moments that I was like, whoa, like you know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
You guys are actually starting to convince me that maybe I like this one more than I thought I did.
Right.
But yeah, definitely hearing Chadwick Boseman's voice and then the Queen Ramonda, like those both like really shook me. Like I remember being like, like getting chills and being like, yeah, like nerding out.
But even like Michael B. Jordan, like
Yeah,
his
he was great.
performance is amazing, and the animation looked exactly like him.
It was him.
Like
I
it
watched
was exactly like
Michael
him.
B. Jordan in that episode. I wasn't even watching Killmonger. They are one and the same now
Yeah.
in my head. I cannot
know, right?
unsee. He walking around calling everybody cuz. Yo, call me cuz. Call me cuz. Let's talk about, I like anime. Like, what?
Yeah.
You say that line. I want to know. I want to be there in the writing room where we're like, yeah, so we're going to have this mecha thing. We're going to make it look like a Gundam. Oh, I got you. That's got to be improv, maybe?
That was
And they
such
said,
a good moment too.
let it
You're
go.
right. That was
Like, 'cause
such a
that was
good
definitely
moment.
one of my favorite moments since we're mentioning like good moments that we really liked. I definitely wanted to talk
But
about that.
Did you say, Tegan, which parts you worked on in this episode?
I did the first when all the tanks are going by and Tony Stark gets attacked, and then he's like in the tank, whatever it is,
Yeah.
the armored vehicle.
Yeah.
And like the one
Humvee or
guy's
whatever.
got a phone, and it like
selfie, yeah.
does some of that stuff. I did some of the cycle animation for the giant battle in Wakanda. So
Was lit. Sorry,
Yeah,
the
keep on
battle
going.
was
I'm so
lit.
sorry, but it was really good. Yeah, really
that
really
kind
good.
of animation is a real big challenge for TV specifically, because there's so much that has to go into it in such a small amount of time. So the way that they do that is like they'll pull a whole bunch of animators and we'll just make like cycles on the mechs and on the warriors and fighting, and then it'll loop, and they can take that, and then Comp will take all of those anims and drop them in like in a cached version all throughout the scene, so that you end up, and vary up the timing and everything, so that you end up getting all of these what it looks like a massive amount of animation, but it's really just the same cycle kind of reused. So I did some of the cycles for that. But I wasn't on this episode for super long, so I mean the people that animated on it are obviously incredible, so they did most of it.
Dang,
was
that's
a
so cool to
really-
think about.
This was a really well animated episode.
Yeah.
I actually like the animation definitely stood out to me on Doctor Strange, and it definitely stood out to me on this episode. I thought that the characters look so much like the actors, and I thought that war scene was like really freaking cool.
Yes.
I mean,
Like,
obviously
on
like
par
the
with
mech
the-
army.
Live action for sure, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Also, this is just talking about other points that I really liked. When Killmonger, he like just like how manipulative he was when like the drones, or were they drones or mechs, or should I call them? I guess
Drone mechs.
Yeah,
Nice.
sure.
Yeah.
When they got through the shield and then they like shut down, and then he like turned them back on, and I was just like, dude, like I remember, I don't know why that part like really shook me, because I was like,
Yeah,
he
no one's
had
safe.
no one's safe, and he literally just like, I think he just had no humanity to me. Like he just really was so driven by his goal. Like it just shocked me. And also, how did y'all feel about just like he's like mingling with T'Challa's family? And I was just like, this is weird.
They don't
This
know
is
any better.
weird. You know what I mean? Like they don't know any better.
Yeah, they think he's their nephew that's just long lost. They don't know anything.
Yeah, but I'm like, how could he not?
That's why this gave me such a bigger
auntie.
appreciation for
Yeah.
Killmonger. Like the lengths he would go to. We didn't get it quite to that point in Black Panther, because the movie was focused on T'Challa, as it should have been.
Yeah.
But this was just on him, so we really got to delve into his motivations and his personality and what he's willing to do. I thought that was so good, which is why I love this episode. I don't really have a complaint, to be honest. That's rare for me.
You've got like Michael B. Jordan, who has this ability to make you believe when he's manipulating in this episode. You are just like, I want to believe you. Like you're genuinely
100% agree.
Yeah.
You come off as this like genuine good person, and like then he flips, and you're like, okay, yeah, I gotta remember he's not. He's manipulating. But he does that so well in this episode that's my favorite part of the episode, actually. Is
When
I
he
100%
gets to
agree.
Wakanda, when he's in Wakanda, I feel like at every point, at literally every point in this episode, when there's about to be a betrayal, you think like, oh cool, he got it, he won, everything's good now. The episode's he's gonna be good from now on. No, betrayal. Oh look, he's in Wakanda. Now, betrayal. Like nothing is good enough for him. And I feel like the episode, whatever they did to make those points hit so hard, was very well done. For sure.
What I like loved about his character, and again, like just piggybacking off of what Jessica was saying, like we thought Killmonger was like this very intense, great villain. Like I think villains make movies make stories, you know what I mean? And he was great in Black Panther, but what is so scary about him is like he's really cool. Like he's just really charming. Like you just are like, I don't know, just like his delivery and stuff. Like I was just like, I honestly, Tegan said it best. Like you were just like, you wanted to believe it. Like he was just like so believable. I don't know. I can't really like articulate it well. It was like, I was really impressed with his acting because it just, even in the scenes when he was talking to his family, you know, like it was just like you were like, because we knew what he had done. He killed their son, and he was just able to be so convincing and so nonchalant and so like BK said auntie and stuff like that, and like
hey, auntie, there it is.
it made him very scary. It made him like so scary to me that he was just like so charming. Like I don't know how else to describe it. It was just like, it made me really want to see more from Killmonger, to be honest.
There's two things before I really want to talk about in this section because we are literally going off on this episode today. So I do want to make sure we get to stuff. I think the first thing one is being Shuri was a little girl. I'm sorry with the little twin puffs. How'd y'all feel about seeing Shuri as like a little girl? Because I was a little shook.
I feel like she was the same age as like Black Panther 1 though.
No, I agree with BK. I thought she was much younger.
I'll look up a picture. Hold on.
This is back when Tony Stark is first becoming Iron Man, right?
So that's
she's
right.
Younger.
That's right.
Yeah, timeline. See, this is why we need you. Because I was confused. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just like, hold on. They done messed my girl up. Why she look like she's 6? She's in a little pink.
That makes a lot of
sense. You know, we got the puff balls on. It's like I knew it. I resonated. I was like, oh, that was me when I was probably 9, you know? Also talking about kind of just the relationship with Killmonger and Wakanda. And I think Jessica touched on it a bit about how like you really do get to see Killmonger's motives here. And the fact that Killmonger fixed himself to say that Wakandans were savages, like, that was a line we heard. Like, we have to talk about that. Don't get me wrong. We all know Killmonger's a villain, but that set the tone and made one of this episodes of What If more darker for me. I should have realized, though, after 3 bodies were dropped, you know,
Avengers.
He was gonna say, do whatever to achieve his goal. And I think that was what made it so scary, was that like we see humanity in all of these villains, right? Even with Doctor Strange, like his humanity was with God, her name's escaping me right now.
Christine Palmer.
With Christine, yeah. So his humanity was, you know, when she was in the picture, like you saw him, you know, become, he's a human again, right? Like you saw his heart again. Killmonger had no heart. I never saw his heart.
And
Didn't
he was
see
like
his heart
a
once.
chameleon. He'd say whatever with whoever he was. Like he read their room.
Disgustingly scary.
So well.
Yep.
Yeah.
The whole motive for the episode was a bit much, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
How did we get there? He found Tony, like he was undercover with the 10
like,
rings.
He could have easily just gone with Tony and lived an amazing
A great life.
Like that's what I was thinking. At every turn, I was like, "Look, this is gonna end up so well for him." Just kidding. Just kidding.
I actually, at the beginning, thought this was I was like, oh wow, this is what would happen if Killmonger was good. That's what I thought in the beginning.
No!
Or I thought,
if
Tony
I did.
was evil, if Tony turned bad.
So I was like, oh, this is nice. We're gonna see what would happen. I felt like that in the beginning because they were showing him helping Iron Man and he was becoming the COO, and I was like, wow, this is if Killmonger was good. And then it was like, then we're in the middle. And he's using like that, like, you know, the claw device on Rhodey. And I was like, is this happening right now? And I literally, I remember when I was watching all that, I was like, I swear to God, I just thought I was like in a dream or something. I was like, this isn't really happening. He's not doing this. Like, this is gonna be like some illusion or like a hologram. Like I literally, and then when it was like, no, he just killed T'Challa and he killed Rhodey, I was like, no. Like, I like literally was like fighting it. And then I was like, did they just do that? Like, cause I was like, so convinced by him. Like, the acting was on point. And it's so funny cause like, Killmonger never got emotional. Like, you know what I mean? Like with Evil Doctor Strange, we saw desperation, we saw anger, we saw sadness. It was it was his passiveness that was so frightening.
Well, that's why this episode was so good to me, is because it didn't change the characters. It just changed one of their circumstances, one thing about their surroundings, and so they're still who they are. You know, it isn't like they're good now, they're bad now. It's like, no, they're still them. It's just what would happen if this one thing changed. And that's what I was looking for What If the entire time.
We have a really cool segment this week where we're going to take a look at some awesome Twitter memes. So,
Memes.
yes, bring on the
memes.
All right, so this first one we got here, I'm already giggling right now.
Oh no, okay.
Killmonger after turning the drones back on Wakanda. Why would Tony Stark do this?
Oh no.
It's my favorite.
Oh my God. I can't.
Why would Tony Stark do this?
That moment was so peak for me, though. I was like, No, but this next one has me rolling. Check this next meme out here. Shuri uncovering Killmonger's plan.
Oh my God! But she's what, Miranda Cosgrove?
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. This one's really funny, actually. This one is really funny.
That pulls it back to like her age too.
Yes, because she was like 13. I'm like, what is this girl doing? Like uncovering all this stuff, hitting up Pepper Potts, and like literally this is how I envisioned it. Like she's on like some like old school map that's like purple, and she's like got little flowers in her room, and then I'm like,
hey, she's a badass, okay.
Also, she got into Stark Industries, into Pepper Potts' office without anyone seeing her. So she's like next level badass.
It's Shuri. It's Shuri. I mean, yeah. Makes sense.
Stand Shuri. Oh my gosh. Here we go. This is a good one, and this is the last one here too. Tony, Rhodey, and T'Challa died in a single episode. Me. Oh man.
That was 100 how I felt. 100% how I felt.
It was well done. Like, just remember the What If the Avengers Died or whatever episode? Those deaths did not hit. These ones did.
You're right. That's a really good point, actually. They definitely did.
It is. It's that consequent, the weight, right?
They didn't have that effing humor of like, ha ha ha, Thor smells like lavender. No, it was just they are dead.
Yeah.
In it.
Jessica.
I also thought they did a really good job of building the relationship between Tony and Eric. Like I was like, wow, he's taking him in as like, you know, I guess mentor-like, you know what I mean? And like really helping him. And I thought they did a good job establishing that relationship. Great. So when he killed Tony, I was like, yo, what? You know what I mean? And then, I don't know, T'Challa, we know the backstory between them. And then we know, Rhodey's such a beloved character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like those deaths definitely hit for me.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me today, and everyone in chat for hanging out with us and letting us geek out about our favorite shows. We talked about What If. We had an amazing
the highlight of my week
on the show.
True.
Yes. Just geeking out with y'all is so much fun. So I really enjoy it. Now, we have our watch parties every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PT and 8 p.m. ET. So if you're ready to watch the next episode with us and the fellow queens, be sure to join
the next episode. Do we know?
Oh, do we know the deets? I don't think we know the deets.
The next one.
I'm curious. But if you join us there, I'm sure you'll see us there. Say hi. That's when you can watch and get our live reactions of the episode going. And then, yes, we'll be back here Thursday, 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET for more Spoilers for Days. I hope we all see you there. Thank you so much, Jackie, for joining us as well. Maiden Mike, thank you. I had an amazing time, and I hope to see you next week, y'all.
Thank you, BK.
For days.
Thanks, BK. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Goodbye, everyone.